and grow, and more importantly, to take advantage of their time. So they start looking for programs and activities. Why do we talk about this? Because now in summer, a lot of brothers are talking to us, to the imams. They have questions about the well-being and the mental health of their children and themselves. As summer comes in, the routine changes. So sleeping habits change, eating habits change, playing video games usually increases. And therefore, this becomes a very important topic. Today, inshallah, we are going to give the parents and the children an amplifier, a magnifier, so we can look beyond the behavior that we see. We need to dig deeper, go inside. Why do people, especially children, do what they do? Scholars of tarbiyah, raising children, and education and psychology, they call this the emotional needs of children. You know, your body has needs to eat, to drink, to rest. Likewise, the nafs has emotional needs. And these needs are important, just like food and drink and rest. And here is a rule that will benefit you at home, at work, and more importantly, to understand yourself. The rule says, people are not after the action. People are after the emotion. Don't look at the behavior of your child. Dig deeper, use the magnifier, the amplifier to understand what is it that your child is trying to fulfill, the emotional needs. Now, this idea of emotional needs was taught by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Amazing, wallahi. Make salah on the beloved. Yalla, say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad 3 times. Allah will make salah on you 30 times, times 10 for each. Let's gain this blessing. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad wa ala ummati Muhammad. Shaddad ibn Aws says that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came out to lead salah. And he had one of his grandchildren with him. He says, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam put the child next to him as he led the salah. And during the salah, he made a long sujood. Sheikh, what did he make? A long sujood. Shaddad says, I became worried. I thought either, may Allah forbid, something happened to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or Jibreel is revealing something to him. So I lifted my head up and I saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his sujood and the child on top of him. So I put my head back. After the salah was over, the Sahaba asked, Ya Rasulullah, you made such a, young brothers, where are the young brothers? Long sujood. So we were worried. We thought something bad happened, may Allah forbid, or Jibreel was revealing something to you. He said, nothing like that happened, but this child of mine, my grandchild, was on top of my back, and listen carefully, I disliked to rush him until he fulfills. He what? Fulfills. He what? Fulfills his needs. Children have emotional needs. It's amazing. Rasulullah ﷺ spoke to Mu'adh. He took him to the side and said, Ya Mu'adh, afattan? Are you making fitna? What happened? Mu'adh, one day he made a long salah. So one of the Sahaba was in a hurry, so he quit the salah behind Mu'adh and completed the salah by himself. Rasulullah took Mu'adh and he said, Ya Mu'adh, don't make fitna. So it is the sunnah of Rasulullah that the Imam be conscious of the needs of the people behind him. However, when it comes to the emotional need of this baby, of this little child, this had a priority. Children have emotional needs. Today, I will talk to you about two. The most important two emotional needs. Wallahi, not just children. You will be able to understand the behavior of your wife better. Sisters, you will be able to understand the behavior of your husband better. Because these emotional needs are universal. They are needs for the nafs. Matter of fact, if you give less food to your children but fulfill their emotional needs, they will be happy. But give them the best food and the best games and the best house and deprive them from these universal, essential, emotional needs, they will not be happy. The first emotional need is love and connection. And you might ask, you say, Sheikh, come on now. You know we love our children. But this is not the issue. You know what is the issue? Issue is not whether you love your children or not. The question is whether you demonstrate it and show it or not. That's the question. So we are not talking about your love for your children. We are talking about your demonstration of love to them. Al-Aqra' ibn Habis, one of the Sahaba, he's a Bedouin and he had a harsh nature. Lives in the desert. So he came to Rasulullah ﷺ and he saw Rasulullah ﷺ kissing and hugging the children. He said, Ya Rasulullah, do you kiss the children and hug them? I have 10 children. I never kissed any of them. Imam Bukhari and Imam Muslim, who reported this hadith, compile and show us that Rasulullah ﷺ answered Al-Aqra'. He said, Man la yarham, la yurham. Anyone who doesn't have mercy on people, Allah will not have mercy on him. Remember the story of the lady who deserved to be in hellfire because she put a cat in a cage and she did not provide food for, nor she allowed the cat to go so Allah would provide for it? A cat in Islam that you put in a cage and deprive from food and water, that is a crime that the person deserves Jahannam for. Look at Gaza now. They are depriving our brothers and sisters of food, drink, shelter, and basic needs, adult and children alike. I'm just wondering, a person who believes in Allah and the Day of Judgment, it's very difficult to do that. I was driving one day with my father. We were on the highway. So he asked me to look for a piece of paper in the car, in the van. I was driving. He said, okay, get off on the tollway, I will drive. And you look, you have a better eyesight than I, look for the paper. So we did that. As my father took off on the highway, a dog was crossing the highway. My father was about to make an accident to avoid harming the dog. I don't know how people have hearts and minds to harm other people. Now, the trauma center in Gaza is destroyed. We have psychologists and psychiatrists in Gaza who try to document the atrocities that children go through. Children have emotional needs. Number one, you should and I should demonstrate our love for them. At schools, we have many children, many youngsters coming to us and say, Sheikh, my father doesn't love me. Sheikh, my mother doesn't love me. And we know that it's not true. But what is true is that the children sometimes do not perceive that love. Now let's go back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was one day laying on the ground. On top of him was his grandchild. And the Sahaba were around. One of the Sahaba, Abu Layla, he says, and I saw بول الطفل على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أساريع. You know what أساريع means? يعني like lions rushing من السرعة. The urine of the boy was all over Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam like running rivers. If you were there, Sheikh, what would you do? If you have a guest and he is saying, oh, give me your child, and you give him the child, and he's kissing the child, and all of a sudden, whiz, all the urine is on top of your guest. What would you do? Here is the automatic reflex. People say, okay, take the child like this, and you are rushing, oh, give me the child. But this is not what happened with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now the Sahaba did the same thing. Everybody is running to take the child who is urinating on the top of the best of mankind. You know, the body of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is sacred. The body of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is holy. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, La tazrimu. Stop. Leave the child until he finishes. Allahu Akbar. Now go to the pediatricians. They will tell you, if you interfere with this moment, you may cause a psychological trauma as you teach the children potty training. You know, some mothers or fathers, when they're trying to teach their children to use the bathroom, and the bathroom does something, the baby or the child does something incorrect, they start yelling and screaming at them. This might cause physiological and psychological problems. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling the Sahaba, leave the boy, let him finish. Sheikh, do you remember the story of that man who came and urinated in the masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? The same thing happened. Isn't it? The man is urinating in the masjid. I'm asking you, if somebody comes here drunk from nowhere, the door is open, and they start drinking here with alcohol on the carpet or urinating in the masjid, what are you going to do? Now practice some taekwondo now, huh? It happened at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, La tazrimu, don't rush the man, let him finish. After the man finished, he said, Ya Abdullah, O servant of Allah, this is a holy place and tahir place. Don't do this here. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to maintain this love and connection. It's called love and connection. We need to connect with our children with beautiful words, words of love. We need to give them hugs and kisses. That's physical connection. And we need to connect with them mentally, especially when they grow up, to convince them, to dialogue with them. You know what is family dialogue? You talk to your child about everything except their school and homework. This is not a family dialogue to sit with your child and lecture them. No. Family dialogue, Pick any topic that they love to talk about and talk to them about it. Nothing about school, nothing about homework, nothing about their behavior. That is family dialogue. Usama bin Zayd radiallahu ta'ala an as-sahabati ajma'een. He says, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to take me and Al-Hasan, and he would sit us next to him, hugs us, and he makes dua. He used to say, Allahumma arhamhuma fa inni arhamahuma. Oh Allah, have mercy on them just like I have mercy on them. Umama, the grandchild of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to bring her to Salatul Jama'ah. He is the Imam. He starts the Salah and he would carry Umama on his hand. As he makes ruku' and sujood, he would put Umama on the floor. And when he goes up, he would carry Umama again. Love and connection. If the connection was not important, do you think that Rasulullah ﷺ would do that in front of the Sahaba? In Salah, he is the Imam. He's teaching the Ummah about love and connection. One of the most important human needs for children, for men, and for women. And he used to make ta'awudh, dua. Ibn Abbas says that Rasulullah ﷺ used to make the following dua to his grandchildren, and he would say, this is the same dua that Ibrahim alayhi salam used to make for Ismail and Ishaq alayhim as-salam. What is the dua? أعيذكما بكلمات الله التامة من كل شيطان وهامة ومن كل عين لامة. The second emotional need, significance. Significance means respect and value. My child needs to feel significant, that he or she have a value in the family. One day Rasulullah ﷺ was with the Sahaba, and somebody brought a drink, milk. So Rasulullah ﷺ took it and he drank from it. You know what does that mean? Now the barakah is there. The barakah of the remnants of Rasulullah ﷺ is there. The sunnah taught by Rasulullah ﷺ that the turn goes to the right. Who was to the right? Abdullah ibn Abbas, and he was a child. Who was to the left? According to the narration of Imam Bukhari and Muslim, the elders of the Sahaba. Some interpreters say Abu Bakr and Umar. Significance. Yes, I'm trying to teach the child adab, but he has to know his rights. He has to know and learn that he has a value. So Rasulullah ﷺ said, Ya Ibn Abbas, do you give me permission to give the drink to the left? He said, Ya Rasulullah, if it was anything other than su'ruk, your remnant, your barakah, I would give it. But now, no. He said, okay, here it is. It's all yours. What is Rasulullah ﷺ teaching? Significance. This child has a value. Who's to the left? Abu Bakr and Umar. Do you know what is Abu Bakr and Umar? Put the entire ummah in one scale, except Rasulullah ﷺ. And Abu Bakr in one, the other one, Abu Bakr is heavier in a'mal and iman. But he's teaching significance. Now, does this go against the adab? No. No. The child is learning his value, and he had the choice, the option. Another story at the time of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. When he met a group of children, when the children saw Umar, you know, Umar, mashallah, he is tall, he is big, he has haiba, you know, this presence of Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. So the children ran away. Except one, Abdullah ibn Zubayr. Who was his father? Az-Zubayr ibn al-Awwam. Who was his mother? Asma, the daughter of Abu Bakr, the sister of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala an sahabati ajma'in. So he stood right there. So Umar said, why didn't you run away? He said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, Adab, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. He is addressing Umar with his title. O Amir of the believers, I did not do a crime to run away. And mashallah, the road is so big and so vast, I didn't have to move, so you can continue on your way. Significance. Inshallah, I would like to finish two things. This topic is extremely important, but it's extremely big. The emotional needs of children. There are other emotional needs, but these are the two important things. To show love and demonstrate it by words, by hugs and kisses, and by talking and reasoning. And the second one is to give the children their value, significance, with adab, of course. But here are a few things that will destroy that relationship between the parents and the child, or between the teachers and the child. These are the destroyers of a strong, positive relationship. Now, to fix any relationship with your children or your students, 60% is to build a positive relationship. Number one, screaming and yelling. It kills the relationship. It puts the child down. It makes him feel insignificant. Number two, comparing with others. Your child is unique. Don't compare your child to anyone, unless you do it in a positive way, but I don't have the time to explain it now. Three, reprimanding and calling out the negative behavior. You know, Rasulullah ﷺ was an artist calling the positive qualities. It seems like we have an amplifier for the negative behavior, and it seems like we are totally oblivious for the positive behavior. You know, one time we had the students here, and some of them were making noise. So what did I do? I did not call on the children who were playing. I started calling on the other children who were doing the right thing. I said, MashaAllah, you are doing the right thing. Allah says this in this ayah, Allah will reward you. The Prophet ﷺ says this in this hadith, He will love you. Talk about what you want, not about what you don't want. Focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. Because anything we focus on, we will get more of it, it will expand, and we will feel it in our bodies. Lecturing. You know, Wallah, if you look at the advices of Rasulullah ﷺ, one line, one short line. Abdullah ibn Abbas was so eloquent because he learned from Rasulullah ﷺ and the Sahaba. So in his generation, after Rasulullah ﷺ passed away, and Abu Bakr and Umar and the Khulafa, so people used to come to him and said, Ya Abdullah, you are very eloquent. We want to learn from you. Give us more lectures, more class. He said, no. كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يتخولنا بالنصيحة. Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم used to do it sporadically. Not every time. مخافة السآمة. So we will not get bored. If Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم was worried that the people would get bored, imagine lecturing and constant, advising. It doesn't work. Anas bin Malik says, I served Rasulullah ﷺ 10 years. He never told me for anything that I have done, why did you do it? And for something that I have not done, why didn't you do it? And when people in the family tell me so, he would tell them, leave him. But now the question, how do we raise children if we are not supposed to talk to them about their behavior? You raise children by creating a positive, strong relationship, and then by giving them the example. The other way to raise children is to talk to them indirectly. Use stories, have 5 minutes every night, sit down before you sleep or whatever time you pick up Riyadus Salihin and read Qala Allah and Qala Rasulullah indirectly. If you see that your children are not constant with their salah, they are not, doing their salah on time, don't tell them, why aren't you doing your salah on time? Sit down with Riyadus Salihin and read about the virtues of salah, Qala Allah, Qala Rasulullah. These are the two main ways to teach children. أقول ما تسمعون يا فوز المستغفرين استغفر الله. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى وعلى إمامنا وحبيبنا وقرة أعين النبي المصطفى وعلى آله وأصحابه الشرفاء. Respected brothers, please come forward so you can give space for the brothers who are at the door. Please come forward. Jazakumullah khair. Respected brothers and sisters, young and elders, please remember one thing from this khutbah. If you remember this, I am satisfied. People are not after the action, the behavior. People are after the emotion that the behavior guarantees. So when you see a behavior, dig deeper and try to understand what is the emotional need that the child or the person is trying to satisfy. اللهم إنا نسألك يا أرحم الراحمين ويا أكرم الأكرمين نسألك بأسمائك الحسنى وصفاتك العليا واسمك الأعظم ووجهك الكريم وسلطانك القديم وأسمائك الحسنى وصفاتك العليا اللهم لا تدع لنا في هذا اليوم العظيم وهذا المقام الكريم ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا مريضا إلا شافيته وعافيته ولا ميتا إلا وقد رحمته ولا عاصيا إلا تائبا إليك وقد رددته ولا أسيرا إلا سالما غانما إلى أهله وقد أعدته ولا طالب علم إلا علمته وأدبته وفهمته برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم إنا نسألك لأهلنا المرابطين الصابرين المجاهدين في غزة وفلسطين وفي كل مكان يا أرحم الراحمين أنزل عليهم ملائكتك المردفين وأيدهم بنصرك المبين اللهم وانصرهم بالرعب كما نصرت نبيك الأمين. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا واعتدلوا الصلاة يرحمني ويرحمكم الله. Straighten your lines, close the gaps, direct your hearts to Allah. استووا واعتدلوا وتراسوا وتراحموا وانووا التقرب والتحبب إلى الله بالصلاة. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jazakallah khair, Sheikh Zaid. I haven't been a participant in one of your khutbahs for a few weeks now, so I was very happy. And thank you for bringing up a topic that hits home for me personally and for a lot of us. Really quickly, I was going to make an announcement, and I will make an announcement about the Islamic Games and the ICW Eid Carnival or Eid Fest that's coming up in about a month. But before that, to speak on what Sheikh Zaid is saying, my favorite thing about summer is not the weather, it's about seeing all the young faces here, the youth. From young to older, all the youth here. It makes me very happy to see that. So ICW has a very special program that we offer for the youth during the summertime, and it's actually throughout the year, but for summertime when we're looking for our kids to do, and it's free, right? Everyone loves something that's free. It's actually 5 times a day: Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. Please, it's a great way to bring the kids to the masjid, connect their hearts to the masjid for our 5 daily prayers for Jamaat here at ICW. It's a great way for me to get myself reconnected to the masjid by bringing my kids here. And if you get lucky enough for Isha Salah, you might catch chai here with Brother Nadeem, his special chai. So please do bring your children. It's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful opportunity to bring your kids and connect them to the masjid. So if you have the chance, please do come for Salah. And we have programs throughout the week with Sheikh Zaid, with Sheikh Fahmi, who Khatiras and whatnot. So it's very good for all of us to reconnect with the masajid. So inshallah, in 1 month, July 27th, we will have our Islamic Games here in the Chicagoland area at Ackerman, right down the street here in Glen Ellen, just a couple of miles away. And in partnership with the Islamic Games, which is a nationwide event actually, ICW is partnering with them to have our Eid Carnival, our Eid Fest with the Islamic Games. So this is a collaborative event. It's a very unique event. We've never done this before, and no other masajid, I don't think, has done this before. So be very proud of your center, ICW, for being able to do this. So we encourage everyone to join us and participate. July 27th, it's an all-day event, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. The Eid Carnival itself is free entry. We'll have, food festival, face painting, rock climbing, a bazaar, zip line, bungee jumping or bungee cord, inflatables, et cetera, mechanical bull. And then along with that, the Islamic Games will be going on. So this is kind of like the Olympics. It's a tournament for all age groups to participate. We will have basketball, volleyball, fitness course, soccer, flag football, arm wrestling. A lot of our elders have that, pardon my language here, but old man strength. So youth, don't think that you can take them in arm wrestling. So start training now. And for our elders here, please do participate, because I know you guys are strong. So please, I encourage everyone. This is a very unique event. I don't want to say once in a lifetime, because inshallah we will keep doing this. But I encourage everyone to join, sign up, go online, check our social media pages. Islamic-games.com is where you can get more information and get registered. We want everyone to participate. We want everyone to volunteer. If there's any vendors that want to be part of the bazaar, please see the management, please see myself, and we can get you guys set up and registered. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.